If you're like many shoppers, you love to find a deal online. Or you shop online because it's so convenient. And you probably know thieves love to go online too, to try to steal shoppers' credit card information. When you're shopping online, you can start protecting your credit card information by investigating the website you're shopping on. Make sure the online retailer lists a real phone number and a physical address. Read the site's privacy policy and search for reviews and ratings of the retailer. You can read more about safe shopping online at STCU's financial education blog. Go to stcumoney.org.
Spokane listens when business talks. Welcome to Business Talks, the region's only local business radio talk show with your host, Ryan McNeese. Business Talks is brought to you by STCU. Now, let's get down to business with Business Talks.
Welcome to Business Talks. I'm Ryan McNeese, and I'm here in the studio with Ron Adams. Ron, thanks for being here.
I appreciate it. Thanks for asking me.
Ron has been running the Spokane Stars basketball camps, leagues, tournaments, etc. for 36 years. Ron, that's a long time.
Yes, it's a long time, and I think I have a couple more years in that I can do this, but sooner or later I'm going to have to get out. I'm getting old.
Well, I think what our listeners need to know is not only has it been 36 years of doing this, but via the Spokane Stars, you have coached and facilitated some of the best names in basketball coming out of Spokane in women's basketball. Tell us about that. Tell us about 36 years of doing this, because it's pretty phenomenal. I mean, the best players that have come out of our area have come out of your program.
We've had just great success with getting the top players over the 36 years, and it's been a great experience for me to coach those kids and watch them play in college and then go on into the pros, a lot of them.
Tell us about how the Stars work. Tell us about that program, the variables of that program, how early do kids start playing in for the Stars. Give us a snapshot of how it works.
We've been running the Spokane Stars basketball camp, which goes from the first Sunday in September after Memorial Day or Labor Day, whichever that is.
Yeah.
And we go all the way until pretty much the middle or the end of December. And we go every Sunday. And those camps have young kids from first grade all the way to 12th grade. My seniors from my basketball program coach that camp with me and with my assistant, Steve Raniger.
Okay.
We run that camp. Caitlin Redmond is one of the coaches.
Those are
also
two big names right there.
Yes.
I've known Steve Raniger for years.
We've run that camp for a lot of years. I think I've been doing it for about almost close to 36 years. And this is where we pick most of our players from that camp, especially the younger kids and the younger teams that we have, which 8th, 9th, 10th graders. The top team, we try to keep as many of the players on that top team here in Spokane. And this particular year, all of them except for one is from the eastern Washington, North Idaho area. And the one girl from Moses Lake is Jamie Lowetta, and we've had her two older sisters that have played for us, and Jessie, of course, plays for Gonzaga.
Well, the talent is unreal, and I speaking from having the opportunity over the last several years, going to the All-Star game that you have every June, and that is coming up
June
here
2nd.
again. So I know the rosters have gone out.
Yep.
I think some of the media coverage is starting to go out. But I know, for one, going to these all-star events, these players here in this region, they're phenomenal. I mean, they really are amazing. I think if anybody would get a chance to go out and support it, it's also for a good cause. Tell us about the name behind the All-Star Game.
It's Jack Blair, and he's a gentleman that I coached with for years at Central Valley High School for the high school girls team. And when he passed away, we decided to run an all-star game for him, and I've been doing it ever since.
Well, it's not only a good cause, but massive talent on the floor all at once. Laura Stockton
correct.
played in the last couple years in that tournament. Or she actually played, I think, for 3 years in the All-Star Game.
All the Stocktons have played, and they've maxed out. They played as many years as they played in high school.
Wow.
And of course, Mom and Dad always came to the event. I don't think they missed any.
Well, very supportive, and we're so excited for the Gonzaga ladies' eggs and the men's, of course, winning the WCC. So exciting stuff there. Well, we got the All-Star game coming up. Is it June 1 again?
It's June 2nd.
It's going to be June
Friday.
2nd.
Yeah, Friday, June 2nd at Post Falls High School.
Okay, so Post Falls High School this year, June 2nd. Well, I'd encourage all of our listeners to get an opportunity to come check out that venue. It's amazing. I know I can say that the two Hole twins will be playing in that. Tell us about their career thus far, because it's been pretty sensational.
They have played, Lexi and Lacey have played for me since they've been little girls, young while they were playing soccer, little skinny little gals. When they
were they always
off.
as tall for their age?
No, yeah, they were always tall, but they spurted up here in the last few years, and they're starting to grow into their bodies now, and they're getting a little scary as far as basketball players. they're very, very good. And, they'll be in the All-Star game. They also play for the Spokane Stars and played on a great high school team that they just had an off game, the high school team did.
Yeah, well, Central Valley High School. Give me the stats. Remind me, did they go 50, certainly 50-plus with no losses?
Yeah, they won, I think, 52, 53 in a row, maybe 54 in a row before they lost the game. And they were a heavy favorite to win state, and they just had an off game, missed 11 free throws, and turned the ball over a little bit.
Yeah,
and,
happens the best of them. But they're state champs. Lexi and Lacey as sophomores, fourth in the state. This year as juniors.
Correct.
They now have a senior year, and they've already committed to Stanford University, is my understanding.
That's correct. And they have just about everybody back. I think they lose one player, maybe two.
So
but they have all the starters back, for CV for next year, and they'll all be older players. So they'll be heavy favorites again to win state next year.
Let's jump back a little bit to the variables that go into the Spokane Stars. It's not an accident after this many years and having this much success with this many players. There's got to be a bit of a systematic approach or model that you've created to really work these kids into wonderful athletes. What do you think the magic is?
What I try to do, and along with my coaching staff, is we try to pick the girls out that have good families to start with, and good students. If the player is a good student, we like that. Attitude is everything. Probably 15, 16 years ago, we would select players just on their talent, and that was a mistake. A lot of club teams and AAU teams do that, and it's a huge mistake.
I'm actually interested in you saying that, because I don't know that that's what most folks would expect a coach with that much program success necessarily to say. That's interesting.
Life's too short. You gain experience the more you do this, and over the years, I felt that having maybe the second or third best player, but they have great parents and a really good attitude, good student, and really have an idea what they want to do in the future. I'd rather have that player than a superstar that has a bad attitude.
It's refreshing to hear.
Yeah.
And you personally are on the road with these families and student athletes at various tournaments all over the country. So it probably makes sense that you would want to enjoy being around good people, good athletes, but the combination. You're traveling with them.
It's correct. Every year it seems to be more important.
Yeah.
So as you grow older, you understand that these things are really important to you.
Tell me about some of the tournaments that you take the Stars to. I know I think annually you go to Phoenix.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, so tell me about those tournaments and how that works.
Gary Peterson runs the Phoenix tournament. It's a Adidas tournament, and we're not an Adidas or a Nike team. We used to be a Nike team, but we're neither. We just do our own thing.
Yeah, kind of independent, if you will.
Independent, yes. That's a good way to approach that, Ryan. But we played in that tournament for years. I think almost every year since we've been doing the Stars, we've been going to Arizona. And
well, Phoenix itself has changed a lot in 36 years.
It has. And we play now where the Arizona football team plays. And that's a facility where we play at now. And this will be the second year in a row that we've played there. And they take out the football field and put the gym courts in the basketball courts in.
I've been by that stadium in Glendale. Have not been in it, but I can't really visualize how many courts you could possibly get in there. It's huge.
They put in about 22 courts.
Wow. Isn't that where the Final Four is going to be?
Yes,
Yeah,
it is, as
so
a
I
matter of
thought-
fact. Yeah,
I thought
that's
it was
correct.
in Glendale, which is a pretty good segue to chat a little bit about some bracketology. I know you to be kind of the master of statistics and following all these teams. So let's chat about what's it look like here in March Madness as we embark on Thursday.
Well, there's a lot of teams that have a chance to win the national championship. But, I listen to XM Radio a whole lot with the sports channels from the East Coast and the South, and they just don't give Gonzaga any credit whatsoever. And they're really clueless when it comes to a lot of those sports people that are real knowledgeable haven't even seen Gonzaga play, but yet they won't give them any credit at all.
That's what's unfortunate is, there's pretty darn good evidence out there that they're here to be competitive.
Well, to beat Gonzaga, man, you're going to have athletic guards and bigs. And if you don't have that, you're not going to beat Gonzaga.
That's what I think Gonzaga does have this year, is they have such a well-rounded, deep team at every position.
They play defense. They're long, lanky. They're deep, well-coached. Their guards are big, tall, and athletic. Their bigs are tall and big and strong. They have 3 or 4 of them down low. They're super as far as defending the three, and their defense is one of the best in the country. I've got them going all the way to the finals to play North Carolina for the national championship. That's what I have, but that's just me.
I love it.
That's just me.
I have 2 brackets, and I have Gonzaga going all the way in both, so I call that loyalty right there.
Well, I call it basically, I'm doing it not because I like Gonzaga. It's just I'm going by because they're a lot better than people give them credit for.
I love
it. Everybody says they play in a weak conference. Well, I don't look at that. I look on what they can do against these very good basketball teams, and there's nobody they can't beat. There's several that could beat them, but there's very few that I don't think there's anybody that they can't play with and beat. So that's why I got them playing North Carolina for the championship.
Well, I'd say that's a pretty objective way to look at it. You're looking at the stats. You're looking at the competition. Let's take a short break and come right back chatting with Ron Adams, Spokane Stars, talk a little bit about March Madness and more. Thank you so much.
You bet. Thank you.
In touch, online all the time. SpokaneTalksOnline.com.
Kids learn about money from their parents. They know whether you tend to save up for fun purchases or pull out the credit card when temptation strikes. Since they're learning from you, talk to your kids about using their money wisely. Start by admitting your own mistakes, talking about your family budget, and discussing the importance of sharing some of your money with causes that are important to you. There are gentle ways to help them become wise stewards of their own money. To learn more, go to stcumoney.org.
Snoring can disrupt marriages and cause serious health problems. Call Sleep Better Northwest first, the experts in dental sleep medicine. Their medically approved, custom-fit oral appliances will have both you and your partner sleeping better and being more productive throughout your day. Don't wait. Snoring and sleep apnea can signal potential strokes or heart attacks. For more information, visit needbettersleepnow.com and download our health guide today. Sleep Better Northwest, the experts in dental sleep medicine.
If you need a sign, banner, or business cards for your business, who do you call? Hi, this is Kent Adams.
And Tom MacArthur from Business Talks. Kent and I call Instant Sign Factory for our signs, banners, business cards, and more.
Dave at Instant Sign Factory is our go-to guy for printing, and he always does excellent work for us.
Check them out online. They've got an all-new website, InstantSignFactory.com.
Tell them Kent and Tom from Business Talks sent you. Instant Sign Factory.
Welcome back to Business Talks. We're here with Ron Adams here in the studio talking about Spokane Stars. He's been running the Spokane Stars basketball program for 36 years. And right before the break, we were chatting about the NCAA March Madness brackets. But I want to circle back before that and talk about what a parent basically needs to know, how to get a hold of you, contact information, with regards to Spokane Stars. Spokane Stars has got a great reputation. As we said at the beginning of the show, many, many, many unbelievable female basketball players have come out of this program. so it goes without saying, parents are interested in having their kids be a part of the Spokane Stars as well as camps and other leagues associated with it. Tell us more about how someone can get involved or find out more information about it.
That's really interesting you bring that up, because very seldom I even get asked that. And it's really important for the parents to know if you have a player that has a chance to go on and play club ball, and you need to play in the summer if you're going to get looked at by the colleges.
Okay.
You need to do it early.
Tell us a little bit more about that, because you just said club ball. You're talking AAU or
AAU or club? The AAU is a little different. AAU is like 8th grade on down in this area. It's one of the biggest AAU programs in the United States that we have here. Well run, the whole
in
thing.
the United States.
Yeah,
that's
it is.
Interesting.
Yeah, boys and girls. Club basketball is basically the club teams play in front of college coaches, and there are sanctioned events that we play in, and they're not all sanctioned events in the spring, just 2. But the ones in the summer, we don't play in any unless they're sanctioned events for our top 2 teams.
Yeah, and tell me more about the definition of a sanctioned event.
College coaches are eligible to come watch the players play.
Okay, so per their NCAA regs, they get an opportunity to come basically watch their potential recruits.
Correct. But back to your other question, how does a parent get their kid involved with the Stars or any other club team? You need to get a hold of me. You need to enter the player into our camp, which starts in September. And, I have a great coaching staff. Whether they're first graders through 12th graders, you can come at any time as long as I get to know the player and the parents. If you're in camp and if you can play, we'll find a place for you. And so I get a lot of calls. I think I've had over 30. Right now, the teams are already formed. We're usually done with the teams as far as getting ready, because you got to have parent reps, you got to get travel information.
Oh, absolutely.
You got to have the money turned in, got to get uniforms.
Sizes.
Sizes. And it's just a long process, and I have tremendous parent reps that work with me. There's no way I could do all this.
They put in a lot of time.
I've always had that. I've always had good parent reps. But for a kid to get involved with the Stars, it's got to be done early.
Okay.
Not so much as a 4th or 5th or 6th or 7th grader, but done early, like get a hold of me in the fall if you want to play in the spring and the summer of the following year. If they do that, then we have a chance to look at them, tell them where their skill level is, so we can place
where they're
them
best placed.
Place them on a particular team. Yeah.
Well, that makes sense. It just really sounds like there's a systematic approach, not an overnight decision, but rather get in, give yourself and the parents and the athlete the opportunity to see where the best fit is in the system.
That's correct. Yeah.
Well, it's a phenomenal program. I'm really excited to come out to the Post Falls event June 2nd and check out that All-Star game again this year. And I wanted to touch on, we've been saying that there's so many good players that have come out of this program. A couple of them I think that come to mind to me, and of course you know better than I, but Angie Bjorklund. I'm a University High School grad, and I know Angie's dad, and so definitely remember watching her. She was one of the best.
She was one of the best, if not the best, all-around player that I've ever coached. Of all the years that I've been coaching until this year, as far as a high school player. So she went on and played for Tennessee, won a national championship, and then, again, a great player. I mean, just tremendous. And the work ethic that she had is, she lived in the gym. And she also coached in our Stars program. So
that's fantastic.
She had no weakness in her game whatsoever.
What is she doing now?
I think she's playing in Europe, as a matter of fact.
I thought she was playing overseas.
She's playing in Europe and overseas. Yeah, she's still playing. Great condition physically.
Good for her. Great opportunities. That's fantastic. Obviously, we mentioned early in the show Lacey and Lexi Hull, currently juniors at Central Valley High School.
Correct.
Unbelievable players, unbelievable record. What are your thoughts on both of them?
Well, they are the 2 best players I've ever coached, because at high school,
that's
players.
That's saying something.
It is. I've had Breon January. I've had a lot of, and of course Angie Bjorklund, a lot of players in the past that I've had, but these 2 players have it all. I mean, they have the great attitudes. They're great players, great students, and they're going on to Stanford.
They're 4.0 students.
Right, and Lexi just got awarded the Gatorade Player of the Year in the state of Washington.
Fantastic.
Plus, most valuable player, second year in a row or first year in a row. She wasn't last year, but she was this year as far as the GSL. And I get them for one more year, even though they've verbally committed to Stanford. I still have them for one more summer and spring.
Well, it's actually exciting, and you're right. When you see that they've committed to Stanford and you see the articles coming out about them, and to realize they're just juniors and they got a whole nother year.
Right.
It's pretty exciting to see what they can do in the GSL and then beyond.
Lexi I think she is registered as the 17th top player in the United States. And they don't have Lacey in there, but let me tell you, Lacey, if Lexi would be the 17th, Lacey should be the 18th.
That's really incredible for many reasons. I mean, you have two twins that are heading to Stanford, both of them of that level. It's pretty amazing.
Lexi's a tremendous basketball player, but so is Lacey. Lacey doesn't get the recognition I don't think that she deserves, because she has no weakness in her game either. None. And so both of these two kids, anytime you put them on the court and you got to play against them, both ends of the court, they have zero weakness.
What are they, 6 foot, 6'1"?
They're closer to 6'2".
Are they? Really?
They have a 6'1.5", 6'2". Yeah.
Well, their dad, Jason, what is he, 6'4"? He was an amazing basketball player as well.
Tremendous player. And the parents are fantastic, fantastic parents. And again, they have everything that I look for if I want to try to get a basketball player to commit for the Stars. There's nothing. They have no weakness at all.
Let's look at, we're saying we got Lexi and Lacey as juniors, and obviously going to be doing some great things currently next year and off at Stanford. On the other end of the spectrum, are you already seeing some girls that are in that first grade, second grade, third grade that you're already seeing that, wow, there's some real potential here, that are starting to enter your camps? And
young kids, it's tough to tell.
Is it hard to tell?
It's hard to tell till they get about the 7th, 8th grade. Now, tonight we have practice with our 2 8th grade teams. And there's a couple of 9th graders that play. Steve Randiger's 8th grade team won the AAU in Spokane. And they are what we call our Navy team. Our blue team's our top team. Our red team's our second team. And then the Navy team's our third team. And the fourth team would be our Royal team. And they've got a lot of the players, very talented kids that are 8th and 9th graders. And we have those two teams that practice together on Wednesdays. And then we start our regular practices this Sunday with all of our teams. Yeah.
You're a busy guy.
Yeah.
You're a busy guy. What do you think makes it difficult when they are elementary, if you will, before the 7th, 8th grade, maybe range? What is it that makes it difficult to tell whether the person has kind of that innate talent? Obviously, no matter what, it's going to take a ton of effort because there's a lot of talented folks out there. But how do you tell or not tell?
It's a great question, Ryan. That really is as good a question as you could possibly ask, because you can't tell from that early age group from 2nd grade through 6th grade, maybe 7th grade. And the reason for it is they're playing all different sports. Mm-hmm. They haven't picked one yet.
Haven't necessarily committed.
Nope, and they shouldn't. They should play all the sports all the way through.
See what their thing is.
Yeah, you get burned out if you just play one.
Yeah.
And so I've always been in favor of, choose a sport if you want to go into college by the time you're a junior in high school. But until then, play all your sports and just enjoy the athletics.
Yeah, I think that well-rounded aspect's important. I think you're making a real good point. Well, let's jump back to talking about the brackets. You've always intrigued me at your extreme knowledge objectively of the statistics of the different teams. You follow it daily. We've talked about Gonzaga and the fact that you got them going all the way to the end. What are we seeing in the other teams and the other brackets? Do we see any upsets that maybe you're seeing statistically that somebody else wouldn't call?
I got a couple. Of course, I never do very well in these. I really don't.
So truth be known.
Truth be known that I'm usually whatever pool that I'm in with brackets. I'm probably towards the tail end. And the people that win those brackets are the ones that vote for colors and mascots.
I was just going to say, what's fascinating to me about that is I would give you all the credit in the world that you probably have a better grasp of the statistics of these teams than anybody in town. But you're admitting that sometimes that's not what wins a bracket.
Oh,
it's does Wisconsin have nice jerseys or not?
Yeah. Or you take a look at a team, maybe South Dakota State is, hey, they're playing Gonzaga. They got pretty uniforms. Maybe they'll win. But I don't go by that.
Yeah.
There's a couple upsets that I think that could happen. I like SMU. They're playing Baylor, and they're playing Providence first game. They'll win that. And then I think Baylor will beat New Mexico State. I think I like SMU to upset Baylor. That's one. And then, of course, I have here's the big one that everybody will think that I'm crazy. I've got SMU not only winning that game but beating Duke.
Wow.
And so and I'm
that
sure
is a big one.
Yeah, I'm sure I'm sure I'm not even close on that.
Well, but you have to have some reasoning in there.
And then, of course, down below that, I have Gonzaga playing Notre Dame to get to the Elite Eight. And then I got Gonzaga beating them and Gonzaga beating Arizona.
So you had Notre Dame going all the way to...
They win first two.
Okay. Yeah, that's a little further than I had in my bracket.
Yeah, probably most people.
Yeah.
And then down on the other side, I don't have a whole lot of upsets on the side that Kansas is on. I really don't. They're mostly favorites. Kansas, Louisville, Purdue, and Oregon. I mean, they're good teams. But down at the bottom, you're going to probably think I'm crazy again. Kentucky's got the toughest go.
They do.
I mean, they've
Tough
got
bracket.
they play a team from their own state to start with, and you can imagine that team can't wait to get to Kentucky. I'm sure they won't. That's northern Kentucky, and I'm sure they won't win, but it's going to take a lot out of Kentucky. Then they got to run right into Wichita State, who I think will be. And Wichita State is really good. They're really a good team. And then, of course, if Kentucky can get by Wichita State, then they're going to have to probably play UCLA, who's already beat Kentucky at Kentucky.
Yeah.
And then if they get lucky and win that one, now they're going to have to basically play North Carolina.
Well, we're running out of time. Ron, really appreciate you being here. The Spokane Stars is really a program that I've had the opportunity for a number of years to see it from the outside looking in. It's amazing what you've done. It's very respected. I'd encourage all the young girls out there and their families that are interested in basketball in our area to take a look at it, seek out information, and just to come see what it looks like. June 2nd, Post Falls, Jack Blair Memorial All-Star Game. I know you got some amazing players in the region coming out to play this year. So, Ron, appreciate you being here. We look forward to seeing how your bracket plays out too.
Oh, I can assure you that I won't do very well, but at least I have a confidence in starting it.
Well, that's all for us today. Thank you very much. Thanks, Ron.
Thank you for inviting me. I appreciate your time.
You bet.
Business Talks is produced in Spokane, Washington by SpokaneTalksOnline.com, which is solely responsible for its content. Ask a question, recommend a guest, and hear this program again online anytime at SpokaneTalksOnline.com. Business Talks is brought to you by our friends at STCU. Business Talks wishes you good business and a good day.
In study after study, money is often cited as one of the top conflict points in a marriage. Finances can be an emotional topic for couples, especially when money is tight. So it pays to get in the habit of discussing it on a regular basis, even if you keep separate finances. At stcumoney.org, find 6 tips for making the conversation easier.
To help you be safe, Washington state law requires you to call 811 2 full business days before you plan, for example, to dig, drill, plow, pull from, or pound anything into the ground. Be prepared to provide the operator with the correct address, cross street, and the description of your work. You must mark the dig area with white paint. The operator will inform you of the utilities notified of your impending excavation. Wait for all their marks. Be safe and dig with care.